Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Beatrice Marcu. I am really enthusiastic for having the opportunity to spend this hour with you, beautiful souls. I am also very appreciative for the work that Karen Curry Parker and her team um, do in spreading this fascinating knowledge that is human design and in guiding us in this tremendous process of metamorphosis we all go through and creating the space for us to try our wings and encourage us to let our light shine because we are human beings. Our lives move in cycles, and we need to be reminded of who we truly are and support it. I will talk with you today about how my life has been changed in the last 3, 4 years, and about the three ways I released the resistance from my energy. And those three ways were with the help of human design, EFT, and EAM. I will share about the outcomes of my transformation and the results of my clients, the results they achieved, and how you can benefit from working with me. Then I am quite excited to do a practical exercise with you, for which I will require your participation, and I intend to reserve at least 5 minutes for answering your questions at the end. So please put your questions in the chat and we'll go to them after the presentation. Okay, I assume that you would like to know a little bit more about me. I picked quite the right time to start my online coaching business this year um, and begin to create the international brand Mind, Body and Soul Align. In the last 4 years, I lived an accelerated awakening process that firstly peaked when I celebrated my 50th birthday, walking on fire at Tony Robbins' event in London. By then, I had left the finance accounting field that I never liked and began my journey of personal development. I trained as a transformational coach and energy mentor. I absolutely enjoy my meaningful life and work now as I live my purpose, which is to support people discovering their true selves. I envision that me living my purpose serves the parents of today and the children of tomorrow who will be taught that their lives are meant to be creative and abundant. So they when they will be adults, their lives won't be about trying to heal, decondition, realignment. They will live their lives in abundance and love as powerful creators, and they will be valued for their uniqueness. I use three ways to release resistance from my system: human design, emotional freedom technique, and energy alignment method. Of course, all of the people in my life impacted my life in one way or another, in a bigger or smaller way. I will mention three remarkable women who inspired me at important times, turning points in my life. They were brought at the right time for me by my Chiron return. And I didn't know that at that time. And I followed their programs as tools through the deepest transformation that I'm still living. I'm following Karen Parker's courses, and I qualified as a human design specialist level 2. She's a best-selling author of multiple books, a speaker, a coach, and the creator of Human Design for Everyone and Quantum Alignment System, programs that have taught, with these programs, she has taught and trained thousands in the last 30 years. So she's one of those people who really made an impact on my life. Human design came the latest of these three modalities in my life. And although I see human design as a foundation, the place to start and build further, I believe I wouldn't have understood and benefit from it if I wouldn't have done inner work before. When I came across human design, I was absolutely mesmerized, blown away by the complexity and accuracy of this field of knowledge, because I've realized that it came to complete my understanding of how to move forward with my life and with ease. Human design has brought tremendous clarity to the whole image of me as an energetic human being. And right from the beginning, I recognized and understood some of the unconscious aspects of my design and how they are combined with the conscious parts of my personality. I learned to know the real me. I regained the strength, the trust in myself, and the zest for life that once I thought. I became very passionate, and it became clearer and clearer for me that human design will play a major role in my life. And this is the reason why I'm writing this, and I'm telling this to you tonight. I started to see myself making a difference for me and others, to be able to guide people into discovering themselves. And I was very grateful for feeling helpful and useful. I was ready and open to the next stage of my journey, to start my own business and to create a brand, to take the skills I've learned and the gifts I discovered in me to a whole new level. So this is where human design really propelled me. So the first tool, which is human design, an cutting edge system, a valuable tool, a practical, simple, reliable tool, a life-changing tool. It starts with, what do we understand about the aura? The aura that expresses the vibration of our unique being as we move through space. This field around us, the electromagnetic field around us that is called aura, vibrates at a frequency that is a sum of all 40 trillion cells in our body. Each and every one of us puts our signals out. We feel each other through aura. We sense the surroundings mostly in an unconscious way through our aura. We send our vibration out and receive others all the time. We constantly communicate through our aura. Knowing our aura type helps us understand how we are meant to move, to act, to behave, to exchange energy with the others, and how we interconnect with the environment we live in. In other words, this simple information, knowing about your aura, can explain why we feel the way we feel, even if we think we shouldn't, why we act the way we act, even if we don't want to. This simple information can completely change our lives. It gives us the first remembered memory about who we really are. Aura is the cornerstone of the human design system, is how we were designed to meet life. The electromagnetic field that is generated by our body, it extends roughly to 2 arm lengths in all directions, and it is the song of our unique being as we move through space. Aura is determined by the interconnection of the energy centers that are defined and colored in our chart. There are over 6 billion people on the planet, yet just as humans have 4 blood groups, we have 4 types of aura. Those four types of aura determine 5 energy types, as they are called in human design. The 4 aura types are an initiating aura, an empowering aura, a projecting aura, and a reflective aura. We have 5 energy types. And I'm still going to use the traditional names, manifestor type, which is about 10% of the population, generator type, about 36 of population, a manifesting generator, 30% of the population, a projector, 23% of population, and reflector, 1%. It's less than 1.5. So I approximated to 1% of the population in my slide. I am a generator. I am a 1-3 profile emotional generator, and this is my chart. I want to remind you that everyone has the entire chart, and everything in human design chart represents an archetypal energy that we can express in an infinite number of ways. I want to highlight the fact that there is an expression. So the expression of each element of our chart is operating on a spectrum, in a high end and a low end, and the space in between. We can experience all of the energies in the human chart in a high or low vibration expression of the circuitry that's defined in our specific chart. We experience our definition, and in the chart is colored, acts more consistently, and we express our non-definition, the openness, white in a chart, in a non-consistent way. I quickly want to go through the type and strategy, and we all know that the manifestor initiates, and the strategy is to inform others before taking action. The generator represents the workforce, and their strategy would be to wait to respond. The manifesting generator, also the workforce, they wait to respond and inform others before taking action. That would be the strategy to follow. For projectors, who are the guides and the directors, they should follow the strategy of waiting for an invitation. And the reflectors, representing the mirrors in our society, they are advised to follow the strategy to wait one lunar cycle while discussing their options with others. This is my human design chart. Me as a generator, as a builder with an open enveloping aura. I was raised to go and get it, or just do it, conditioned to initiate. Everything was hard for me, but I was motivating myself with affirmations like, I can do hard things, I could work hard, and I did, as I was using the consistent power of my sacral center. But I was doing everything against the natural flow of my aura. Most of the time, I wasn't responding. And the resistance that I created for years burned me out a few times. It would take me a couple of years to recover, and then went back repeating the same patterns. I was brought up with those patterns, and human design not only explained to me why all that happened, but brought back the confidence in me that I really am strong and I can move mountains with that energy of a generator. Only have to follow my strategy and do it in the right way. It was a huge realization. And I can say that I'm thoroughly enjoying experimenting with my type as a generator. I observed myself and trained myself to follow the strategy of waiting to respond to the outer reality, while keep working on my beliefs, patterns, and sabotaging patterns, strengthening my core, defining my values, establishing clear boundaries, learning to love myself. You can see that I don't have a definition in the heart. I have a not defined heart. So I learned how to love myself and value myself first. Well, bringing in the awareness, bringing in the awareness and the knowledge, and clearing the conditioning, I don't feel that constant resistance and the attached frustration to it anymore. Things rather started to move smoothly in the right direction for me, and I'm really grateful. Now, human design can provide us with an action taking tool and clear action taking decision making tool that is both accurate and reliable. And in human design, the tool is called authority. And we already know about those 7 kinds of authority. I will remind you, it's a sacral authority, a splenic authority, an emotional solar plexus authority, ego authority, self-projected, mental projected, and lunar authority. Although decision-making is tied directly to our strategy, our authority flavors the way we use the strategy. So our defined centers will determine our authority, but not all the centers carry authority. So my personal authority depends on the type and the definition. So I have the defined sacral. I am a generator, and my authority is the emotional authority because I have the definition in my solar plexus. I think I have my slide. Okay, emotional authority. Once we get to understand our authority, we discover the patterns and the behaviors that make us living much easier, appreciating the beauty and the potential of who we really are. And I want to tell you a little bit more about the emotional authority today, not only because this is my authority and I was so curious to observe it, but also because everyone is impacted by solar plexus. Because even if we have a defined solar plexus or not, in our relationships, we are impacted. We don't know, we don't understand how we process the energies through our solar plexus, regardless is defined or not defined. And let me explain this a little bit more. But I want to remind everyone that Ra Uru, who brought human design to us and who was the founder of the system, a human design system, and the messenger, he was born Alan Robert Krakauer in Montreal, Canada on April 9, 1948, and spent his early years there. He dedicated the next 25 of his life to the development of teaching of the system around the world. And he has an amazing view on the emotional authority. And I would like to bring bits of his story of biology and emotions as they were taught by Ra. Our solar plexus biological correlations are the complex neuronal network of the solar plexus, nervous system, lungs, kidneys, pancreas, and prostate. There is a vast network of nerves surrounding the esophagus, the stomach, the intestines, of such complexity that is called the second brain. Its real name is the enteric nervous system, and it has more neurotransmitters than anywhere else in the entire nervous system. Very little is known about this area, but what once was dismissed as a simple collection of relay ganglia, scientists now recognize it as independent of the brain and actually having a mind of its own. The enteric brain the enteric brain expresses and recognize itself non-verbally in visible gut reactions. The full feeling of satisfaction, the sick feeling of nausea, the urge to vomit, the abdominal pain. It is the central hub of the solar plexus center, around which the other solar plexus parts, kidney, prostate, etc., are coordinated. The basic task of the solar plexus is to help detoxify the body with its motor capacity. It moves everything along so that it is processed correctly and the waste is passed outside the body. The solar plexus processes and discards three main elements: solid matter via intestines, fluid via kidneys, and gases via the lungs. And there are different channels. Channel 4130 via kidneys 1949 and via the lungs 3955. The word emotion means to move things forward so they can be eliminated in the end. If a motor, for some reason, is not allowed to run in the right way, it no longer gets things out and the waste builds up, it gets clogged. Did I shock you with this picture? Good, I intended so. Solar plexus is the motor that processes the energy of emotions for us. Without it, we won't feel a thing. This concept of emotions as a forward moving motor is important. If you are not able to let go of the past due to emotional blocks, the solar plexus motor cannot do its job correctly. Things get blocked, and in your system, everything becomes toxic. If a person, regardless the solar plexus definition, stores or remains focused on an old anger, grief, shame, feelings of guilt, etc., over a long time, then the emotion does not move forward, but rather inwards, emoting in reverse. If they don't spit out, breathe out, defecate, pee, sweat, or release the negative emotions via tears, then they do not allow the emotions to be moved forward in the process. This damages the organs involved and results in illness and asthma, stomach ulcers, kidney stones, gas in the gut, and so on. An emotionally defined person needs to process their own emotions correctly by neither venting them too quickly, reacting in the now, or keeping them in too long and suppress them. A person with an undefined solar plexus needs to be aware of the emotions around them so that they don't get trapped in an emotional process that is not theirs. And now think about half of the population of the Earth has a defined solar plexus and goes up and down on an emotional wave. The other half of the world with their open solar plexus simply amplify this wave because they don't understand what's going on. They don't know about the mechanics of their own energy, and they are driven blindly by these forces. Let me take the first half, the undefined open solar plexus people. They usually end up doing generally two things. They do whatever they can to avoid the emotional wave. This means not speaking what they really think or avoiding dealing with a situation that could cause an emotional reaction. It leads to all sorts of compromise, miscommunication, and eventually leads to even more emotional problems. As we saw above, avoiding emotions can cause blockage in the body. The second way of reacting, or the second pattern, this undefined open solar plexus people usually behave, they amplify the emotional wave from the people around them. This results in emotional outbursts and issues, but the emotions aren't theirs. It's like taking someone else's medicine, which is not a good idea. Usually the open emotional people bounce between these two extremes. The clear open solar plexus person is able to feel the emotions within them and be able to see who is giving those emotions. This is clarity. They do not run away from the emotions, nor do they let the emotions push them into making decisions or saying things. They simply watch and share what the other person is feeling, giving them the time and the space to ride through their whole wave. This is compassion. Moving on to the other half, the defined solar plexus people. They tend to live in a world of shame and blame. They are ashamed of their emotional outbursts and they blame others for their emotions. It's not your fault. It's your fault that I'm sad. When I'm ashamed, they try to hold their emotions in and suppress the feelings, resulting in health issues. The emotions usually come out anyway, but in more distorted and destructive way. The defined solar plexus person would act immediately on the first feeling that hits them. This spontaneous reaction creates emotional chaos when the feelings move into another point in the wave. If they are happy, they could even marry you. If they are sad, they break up with you. So I have an emotional authority. This means that I will always feel the waves of my emotions because of my defined solar plexus. It is correct for me to follow my authority, not my emotions. What does that mean? Not to react on what I feel, rather acknowledge the feelings, express them in such a way I don't hurt myself or others. I don't drop burdens of negative emotions on others. And also, I don't keep it too long in my energy, allowing time for the wave to complete. Most important, it's not to make big decisions when I'm feeling the emotional wave, but to wait and get emotional clarity over time. I'm not supposed to be spontaneous in making important decisions. My energy configuration does not support me to do that. I make decisions over time, deliberately, after gaining emotional clarity related to my decision. As my solar plexus is a defined center, it's supposed to always process energy in the same way, consistently. Once I understood that, I only had to apply it. I mean, I got to observe myself and to recognize in my everyday life. It was very interesting for me to experimenting with this. I changed the way I looked at it, and that changed the way I used to act. It wasn't always easy, and it's not always easy, but I have to say, I haven't had bad outcomes, quite the opposite. Once I stopped reacting to people and situations, I gained calm and harmony. Once I stopped buying things on an impulse, I saved money. Once I allowed myself time to be clear emotionally before I had to choose between two options, I was given a third option that I wouldn't even initially have seen, and many times turned out to be the best decision. What a relief was for me to understand that it is okay for me to feel my emotions and let them go. Not only okay, but healthy for my entire body. And what a breakthrough to realize that it's not my fault. I had no reason to be ashamed, nor to blame myself or others. That was the way my body was functioning, was processing the energies through the solar plexus. I got the explanation of what actually happened in my solar plexus. I understood in what way the energy of my emotions is transformed, and I understood why it is for my highest good to follow my emotional authority. When you don't follow your type and strategy, you will meet with lots of resistance. Everyone knows this already, I suppose. And the resistance looks like this, it feels like this. We have emotional themes highlighted in human design, and I just want to go quickly through them. The manifest emotional theme would be anger, but the opposite, I was talking about the spectrum. Yeah, so we look at emotions in a spectrum. So the opposite, the vibration we would like to align with is peace. The generator emotional theme is frustration, and the opposite, the other side of the spectrum, is satisfaction. Manifesting generator, anger and frustration, and the opposite, the other end of the spectrum, is peace and satisfaction. Projector, emotional theme, depletion and bitterness. The other end of the spectrum is success. Reflector, the emotional theme is disappointment, but the opposite is wisdom. So when we start to look through these lenses, it's much more interesting, because following our type, strategy, and authority, we become more of who we really are and less of who we are not. Ra has a quote that really had a big impact on me. He speaks about the generators. There are always a part of me that knows that at any moment they can be transformed. At any moment. These generators are not beings that have to wait 7 years to be awake. It can easy to be awake in 20 minutes. Truly, it's simply a matter of the shattering that goes on around them. And so for me, the generator has an enormous potential to transform the world. And what is clear to me is that there is magic for them in this life that nobody else gets to participate in. It is this magical transformation and truth that nobody else can have. There's nothing like being the generator, because the generator has access to the absolute truth in the moment for them. That is something that is truly unique. It's something that is a tool for awakening and gives them the capacity to remain awake, because they have a place within them that will never confuse them, that will never lie to them. And it's a remarkable thing. So to be honest, I totally believe that I'll find much more understanding in time of what he wanted to say. But what prompted me to bring this to you tonight was the fact that there is a 7-year cycle, which is cellular transformation. So our cells will start to transmute, to transform, to mutate in this cycle. And we can't do much about it to rush it or to stop it. So we are in a process, in the middle of the process. But we can do something with leaving this 7 years cycle in an easier way. And for that reason, I brought in and combined 2 more practical modalities to help us in our journey of experimentation with human design. So the next 2 modalities I use in my coaching help release resistance while experimenting with human design. And human design is so fascinating and complex. It's so brainy. We all are excited to share about human design and talk to others and explain and debate and question and so on and so on. And we often forget to apply all that knowledge, all that fascinating knowledge. So for that reason, I'm gonna move to my clients who are quite happy on benefiting from this combination of the methods. And I would like to invite you to read the slide while I'm going to take a sip of water. Thank you. So the other 2 ways I'm going to share about are very practical. And the next one is the emotional freedom technique. The emotional freedom technique, also known as EFT or meridian tapping, was developed by Gary Craig during 1990s. It melds acupuncture, kinesiology, and modern day psychology. It is a growing modality in the energy psychology field and is designed to assist people in their personal development. And it can be effective in reducing stress, behavior development, resolving personal issues, improved attitude, and general well-being. It is easy to apply and non-invasive. The practice of EFT consists of tapping on designated meridians points on the face and the body while stating targeted issue. The idea is that we carry negative emotions within our energy system that have developed over time, and these create blocks within us that can limit us from achieving and living a fuller capacity. By tapping, we assist in rebalancing our energy system, release negative emotions, and create more receptivity to positive, affirming statements. According to Gary Craig, all the negative emotions, all the negative emotions are disruptions in the body, in the body's energy system. And we all know that Karen recorded videos about EFT. She uses and promotes tapping, and in the Human Design Activation guidebook, she has affirmations for my centers. I printed mine off and stuck it on the wall, and I frequently do tapping. The tapping sessions for my energy centers. And guess what? I use them for my clients, with my clients in my coaching too. I love the fact that these three modalities that I use, they are combining so well, and they are harmonizing together, enhancing the results for my clients. I have followed Margaret Lynch program that's called Tapping into Wealth, and I was not only trained to be a coach, but I was firstly coached. Margaret Lynch is an American transformational speaker, coach, and author. I was, for the first time I came across EFT was in her program. And I knew from the beginning that I have to work on myself first and clear my issues. Otherwise, I won't be able to hold the space and get results with my clients. And being a 1-3 profile by Human Design, I had to do my research and experimental work in order to have the confidence to move on. I immensely benefited from the powerful processes in this program, and I got pretty good results with tapping on anger and frustration. Think about the frustration is the emotional theme of the generators. I didn't know that at that time, but it was the best work I needed to do then. I worked on stress, overwhelm, on sabotaging patterns, and vows to be perfect, and found the roots of all these patterns in my childhood. Now, I want to, yes, there was a slide with my clients that are happy, and that made me happy too. I won't have time to do a tapping exercise with you, but I'm inviting you to go on my website and do a 19-minute session of tapping on fear and anxiety. I recorded it this year in March. There are 2 rounds. First one, acknowledging and honoring the shadow aspects and allowing to let them go. The second one, I use positive affirmations for increasing the vibrations and raise the emotional setting point. Very powerful, very useful. Go and watch and practice. And by all means, tell anyone who struggles with anxiety to start using this modality consistently, and get in touch if they need support. The third method I want to talk with you about is energy alignment method. It is created by Yvette Taylor, a British spiritual and business coach, speaker, author with a background in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. EM found me in a critical time, one of the critical times in my life, um, lower energy, very low energy, and questioning the meaning of my life. Apparently, no reason to be unhappy. I had a good relationship, good job, lovely holidays spent all over the world, but I was feeling low, not fulfilled, confused, stressed, burned out. The technique is ridiculously simple and amazingly fast. It can change the emotions in a matter of minutes. I remember I was thinking, oh, even if it turns out that it's all about the placebo effect, it's worth doing it. And I started to use it. I participated first in an online event, then in a couple of months at a live event. I felt I had a call to learn more and to take the full course offer then. Um, and that was my um, yeah, that was that turning point. Really, yeah, moved on, changed. I moved on from there. I was lucky enough to have a certain level of financial stability, and I'm so grateful to my dear David. And I was able to dedicate time to take the courses. And in a matter of months, I was able to see results of the energy work and studies I was doing. They started to show up in my relationship with my family, my mom, my sister, my brother, which simply flourished. Things started to move smoothly in my life, and the realization came that I was indeed up leveling. I was looking at the world through different lenses. I felt differently. I was changing my identity, and I was loving what I was becoming. I'm becoming the unhappy accountant that I used to be. My emotions became more stable and positive as I was raising my vibration in the body. I was able to make important decisions about my life and to act upon them in alignment. I was at peace in my heart. I stopped looking for jobs in accounting at all. Um, Accounting never resonated with me, and I started to support, to go and support as support mentor at EM live events. I got clarity regarding my goals and found the strength to follow up. So my life was changing for the better day by day. My perception towards my life, my emotional and physical state transformed entirely. I made peace with my past. Being in alignment brought forgiveness in my heart for my alcoholic and abusive father who passed away a long time ago. I got rid of my bouts of sadness, anger, and depression, migraines, backaches, and pains. I changed my way of thinking, realizing lots of limiting beliefs and patterns. I grew the self love in my heart and self trust to be able to change my career in midlife. I certified as a mentor with Energy Alignment Method. And this year, I took my first group of mentees through a 10-month program. Now, as I mentioned earlier about how well these three modalities work together, um, human design and EAM are based on similar concepts. They both use Chinese traditional system and concepts like yin and yang, chakra system. They use energy notions, quantum physics, electromagnetic field aura concepts in their approach. Decisions not made based on mental thoughts. They use an understanding to the cycles and natural cycles of the world and their impact on our everyday life, an understanding of the paradigms shift that happen in our world right now. So, question for you, which paradigm you are in? Is it the old paradigm or the new paradigm? The old paradigm, and this is the VPP, it's the victim, persecutor, protector triangle, which in all paradigm we all probably know about. We at one point in our life would have felt that we are in one of these roles as a victim or pusher or protector. But the new paradigm comes with being in your power. The old paradigm, I am what I do. The new paradigm, I am and I do. The old paradigm, false self-esteem. The new paradigm, true self-esteem. The old paradigm at effect. The new paradigm at source. The old paradigm being reactive, the new paradigm responsive. The old paradigm unconscious, fearful, doing things, and the new paradigm conscious, loving, being. Old paradigm, blame, fault, shame, guilt, we were driven by these. The new paradigm, response able, not good enough, as opposed to I'm more than enough, grounded in fear, as opposed to grounded in love. The next concept I want to talk with you about is about the energy states. The energy flows through our bodies in all the directions. So we take our individual as individual. The flow state is where everything is working out for you. The traffic lights are green, you get a parking space, everything is right in your world, and your energy is moving forward. In resistance is when your energy is, when you feel stuck and you are unable to move forward. Sometimes you follow your mind and say no, and then you follow the sacral that drags you to say yes, and then the next minute you say no. So you're kind of like stepping on the spot or feeling stuck. The reversal is when the energy is flowing, is moving backwards. Your energy stop moving forward as a result of an event. And from a mental point of view, you have positive thoughts when you are in flow, you have negative thoughts when you are stuck, and you have limiting beliefs when you are in reversal, or your energy is in reversal. You are, from the emotional point of view, you feel the love when you are in flow. You feel the fear when your body is in reversal, and in the middle, on that spectrum, in between the fear and love, are all the other emotions. So based on these energies states, I would like to invite you to stand up and do a little exercise together. So the idea is to relax your body, to relax your shoulders, your hips, and stay with your feet with hip apart. Relax your knees, close your eyes, and ask a question. And the question is, for our exercise, ask your name. So if your name is, mine is Beatrice, I'm going to use mine. Yeah. So ask loud, is my name Beatrice? And notice the way your body moves. So I'm going to ask again, is my name Beatrice? See, my body moves forward, so my name is Beatrice. But if I ask, is my name John? My body moves backwards. Is my name Francesca? No, my body moves backwards. So, play a little bit with this until I'm going to go back to my slides and quickly take you through the last part of the presentation to explain what has happened. So we tested our sway like a pendulum. We swayed using this tool used in kinesiology. It's a muscle testing technique. It's not a tool, it's a technique. It's a muscle testing technique, and represents the psychological response sent through the nerves. It is sympathetic micro muscle movement. It translates through a yes and no response to what's happening at every level of our aura. EAM uses the body pendulum. Usually a forward move is a yes and a backwards move is a no. Once you get used with your body sway, you can ask more specific questions. You may find that at the first try, the sway, it's unresponsive. There could be a number of reasons for this, but you should find it gets easier and more powerful over time. Keeping your knees soft and your arms by your side, stand with your feet hip width apart. You may find it easier if you close your eyes, ask yourself a question that you know the answer, and you notice how your body moves. Yeah. I want you to please remember this is not a predictive tool, and it can tell you things like what you feel in your body, but not things like lottery numbers. You can ask questions about much more specific questions about how you feel. And the 5 steps of EAM using this sway are: you ask, you move, you experience, and you transform. The 5th one is you manifest. Step number 1, you ask. You can ask if you feel a resistance when you think about something. Do I feel a resistance when I think about something? Step 2 would be your sway move as a yes or a no. Step 3 is the exploration step, when you experience. What does it feel like? Where in the body do you feel it? What do you see? You can see shapes, you can see colors, you can feel it in a certain part of the body. The temperature raised, the temperature goes down, you feel a pressure. It can be anything. Step 4. In step 4, you transform. You transform. You take this, for example, a gray hard ball in my stomach. So if I would have went through step 1 and 2 and asked if I have resistance, and the response, the sway would respond yes, and I notice that I have a hard ball in my stomach, then with a step 4, I want to transform that energy, that feeling in my stomach. And you say, like a mantra, I'm ready to release this hard gray ball in my stomach. I release it from my energy in all forms, on all levels, at all points in time. So you put your energy in that state, hypnotic state, dreamlike state, where you can access your subconscious and let your body react in a natural way. You say this 3 times, you release it. Then you can check. Ask again, check with your sway that have you let all that go? Ask if you have more resistance. You can repeat step 4. If no, if you release that, you move to step 5. And step 5, when you manifest, after you release that ball of hard gray ball in your stomach, you felt the shift of the energy, yeah. And what you're gonna bring in instead of what you just released, you will bring in what you want to manifest. I'm ready to allow myself to feel how happy, joyful, excited, strong, empowered. I allow this into my energy in all forms, on all levels, at all points in time. and you say it 3 times. It's a very simple method. Play with it. My clients are talking about it. They are happy. They work with this. They combine the tools that have results. The sway gives clarity on what's in your subconscious mind. And with an oral command, the vibration of your words, of your thoughts, your intention, that change, that shifts the energy in your aura. I have a program that is an 8-week program that uses human design and the other 2 tools, EFT and EM, that you just heard about, that brings awareness and clarity in your system. It makes you understand the mechanics, who you truly are, how you operate, how you interact. You understand, recognize, and embrace who you truly are. The benefits brought by the program are one-to-one sessions online. You have full attention of mine, my time and my expertise. You will use powerful processes, release resistance, energy will shift and will get in flow. You will be encouraged. You will raise your self-trust. You will feel empowered, and you understand that you are not broken. You are not to be blamed. You are not alone. You have all you need. You can create your easier life right away, consistent and long term. And I'm here to support you. You will get a clear strategy to make decision in any situation based on your type, strategy, and authority, and a method to follow that will give you resilience to stay in alignment. So my package of 8 weeks, it's 6 weeks, one-on-one 9 sessions of 90 minutes, 2 integration weeks, 30 minutes follow-up, deeper understanding, as I said, of what you have in your energy, in your type, strategy, authority. For the price on my website is 1188. The price I offer you is 15% discount of £1,010. You can contact me until 4th of January when we're going to start. There are 5 places only. And my invitation is to take this gift of clarity of 30 minutes free call on Zoom with me. And you can book it there. I think Cindy already put the links in in the chat. So we've talked about these 3 ways to release resistance: human design, EFT, and EM. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember that everything is energy. You can achieve the flow and align with the true of who you are, and to find your place in the divine infinite puzzle is what we all are going through. Connect with me, and I would like to thank you very much. Have a wonderful holiday season with good health, joy, and ease.
And I'm sorry we don't have time for questions today, but Beatrice's link to a clarity call for her program is there. And thank you. That was very interesting.
Thank you, Cindy. I would like to assure everyone that I didn't have time to look through your questions, but I would like to save the chat and get back to each and every one of you. I save the chat.
They want to post under Facebook, then maybe you can answer on the under the replay under Facebook. That would be great.
Yes.
But thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This was very interesting.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.